The big stories making news across the country is a lawsuit filed on behalf of the Attorney General here in Texas and 10 other states over transgender bathrooms. Alana Rocha from the Texas Tribune is here to give us an in-depth look about this lawsuit, which, by the way, was of no surprise. People knew this one was coming.
Absolutely, given the Lieutenant Governor's, kind of at the forefront with comments regarding President Obama's directive, the North Carolina law, and that their clash with the federal government.
Right.
No, this wasn't a surprise. As far as the timing, though, evidently we heard yesterday in the news conference that a small school district up near the Oklahoma state line, Harold ISD, passed an ordinance in line with the North Carolina law that says, kids use the bathroom of the gender that corresponds on their birth certificate. And so that puts them at odds with this Obama directive and at risk of losing federal funding.
And so we did some research, too, of our own to add some in-depth into it. We didn't find any school district within our area that had any complaints. And you said that is true for many school districts across the state.
Yeah, I mean, both gentlemen, the superintendent of Harold ISD and Ken Paxton, were asked yesterday during that news conference if there were any incidents or any specific cases they knew of, and neither could name a single incident. They said it was more about the fact that the president can't unilaterally pass laws, even though this isn't a law, it's a directive, but it still has consequences.
And some of the consequences, too, would be that these schools would lose a lot of money.
Right. I mean, it's all, obviously the bigger the school district, the bigger the loss. For example, again, Harold ISD, small school district would lose, or at risk of losing, somewhere around $117,000 a year in federal funding should that happen.
Okay, and this is far from over. They're saying we're going to take this all the way to the Supreme Court if we need to.
That's what Ken Paxton said yesterday. Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about Senator Ted Cruz. He is back on the news. He is calling out someone. Who is he calling out and why?
VA Secretary Robert McDonald. He was speaking at a Christian Science Monitor breakfast, I believe, Monday morning, and he likened the VA wait times to lines you wait in at Disney. Oh. And that it's not about, you don't remember the experience waiting in line, you remember the ride or the
once you actually get on it.
Right. But not only Cruz is calling for his resignation and started a petition, but House Speaker Paul Ryan called him out on Twitter saying, many veterans have died waiting for that care. Right. So, it's a big snafu. I mean, he eventually apologized, but, we'll see what comes of it.
Definitely something. Okay, Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune. Thank you so much for that. We'll see you next week to talk more about politics.